Hey guys, welcome to today's video. This video is all about what to include in a pitch as a copywriter or content writer to make sure that you get booked. So if we haven't met yet, my name is Jessica Johnson and I have been a freelance copywriter for years. I actually scaled my business into a content agency with a team of writers working with me. I've been on the inside of corporate America hiring writers and seeing what their pitches are like. And then I've actually had to go and prove it out as a writer myself. So I'm taking all of the things that I've learned on that journey and putting them into this video for what would actually get you hired when sending a pitch as a writer. Okay, so the first thing that I think it's really important to include, and this is where a lot of writers go wrong, is to make sure that you are including what you can do for the company. Now, this might seem obvious, but speaking as someone who got a lot of pitches from writers, so often people will pitch talking about why they want the job, right? They'll say something like, I'm a writer looking to build my business. Let me know if you're interested, something like that. And while that's great and that's true, and we all know that's why you're pitching to begin with, it doesn't actually connect for the brand the value that you bring to the table as a content writer. So what you want to think about instead is how can you frame it and what's in it for the brand that you're pitching? Could you say that you are looking to help them grow their revenue, to generate more leads, that you're great with raising engagement levels, that you can increase sales, things like that, that really show the business bottom line value of hiring a content writer. Can you help them save time? All things like that that really start to speak to whoever's on the other end of your email and make them stop and say, wait, I am looking to save time. Wait, I do have to report on the number of leads I generate every quarter. Wait, I am trying to increase sales or engagement. If you can help with that, fantastic, right? Can it be other things like traffic to a website, the amount of time that people spend on a website, all things like that that really help bring that value home for a brand. So that's the first thing to make sure you always include in a pitch. The second thing that I think it's really valuable for you to include is why you like the brand. So a lot of times these brands will get pitched all the time by people, and you can tell that it's a very templated, not customized pitch, right? Like it's someone who obviously just blasted this out to 100 people or a few dozen people, and that doesn't really do a lot for a brand, right? Because they're going to be working with this person, you hopefully, and so they want to make sure that if you are really wanting to work with them and get their business, that you're taking the time to show from the beginning that that's really your intention, that you would put so much personalization behind your work, right? And so I think it's so valuable if you say something like, I have worked in healthcare, and so I think that makes me the perfect person to work with your brand. I bring 10 years of experience to this industry, right? And even if you don't bring 10 years of experience to the industry, lead with something else. Share why you love their brand. Maybe it's a local coffee shop and you've gone there for years on Saturday, or you love that they serve organic or fair trade beans. Think of something that you genuinely love about the company and customize your pitch with that. That'll really go a long way to not only capture the attention of whoever is reading your pitch, but to really make them take you seriously and see that you're someone who truly wants to work with them and isn't just kind of spraying your pitch everywhere to see who accepts. All right. The other thing that you want to feature, of course, is your expertise. And you can do this in many ways. So, for example, even if you don't have 5 or 10 years of experience, talk about the training you do have. If you are always pursuing continuing education, if you have taken a certification program at a local university, if you've just completed an online course, if you are continually learning about things like SEO, search engine optimization, or analytics or marketing, go ahead and share that. Share what does make you an expert and what does make you different from other writers. If you happen to have years of experience, definitely include that. That's always great. And also think outside the box. It doesn't have to be years of experience inside like a writing profession, if you're wanting to pitch a healthcare brand and you've been a nurse for 15 years, that is still experience that can bring valuable insight to the table. So you can say something like that. I've been a nurse for 15 years and I recently transitioned that expertise into content writing, helping healthcare brands better communicate their technical language, something like that, right? So all of a sudden you're differentiating yourself and you're leading with what you do have. So maybe it's not writing, but it's still expertise in an industry. Definitely include that. Another way that you can show off your expertise is by including samples. So for example, you could say, maybe at the end of your pitch, you end with, I've included a few samples of my work that seem relevant to you, would love to be in touch, if you find that we would be a good fit. Something like that. You can link to a website that you have, maybe a portfolio website. You can attach a PDF portfolio, or you can even just attach Google Docs that you've made really professional of work samples that seem relevant to a certain company. All right. And then make sure you just follow up with what the next step is. So how can they get in touch with you? What does that look like? Or is it linking to a discovery call where you can connect and discuss further? Is it jumping on your calendar where you send a link? Is it hitting reply to the email and you'll take it from there? Make it easy on people to respond, and that'll go a long way to alleviate just the feeling of an overloaded work schedule and decision fatigue, and make it easy to connect with you and take that next step. All right. So again, those are just a few things that I would always include in your pitch. And again, it's number one, why you want to work for that company, right? Like why you like that company, what value you can bring to that company. It's your expertise, what you bring to the table, what you can do for them as a writer. And then you're sharing things like your samples, where they can get in touch, a link to where you can take that next step with them. So those are things that can be really helpful. And if you're interested in diving further into this, I have a program called Content Business Blueprint, where I share exact pitching templates that you can customize, again, to add that personal touch to brands, but it shows you exactly where to plug and play, what to switch up. It includes all of these facets of pitching, such as showing your expertise, showing why you want to work with a brand, showing what you can do for them from a business perspective, and then where your call to action is or where they can take that next step. So in the video notes, I will add a link where you can learn more about that. Would love to support you in there. But in the meantime, I hope these are super helpful for you to start thinking about and checking your current pitches to make sure that you're including these things. And if you haven't been getting responses, make sure you're really including each of these or tweaking them, right? Making them a little bit more impactful. These are the things that I would have always watched for when hiring writers. And if someone were to include all these things, it would just make them look so professional and really surprisingly stand out from the rest. You would be surprised how few people include all these things. So I hope that's helpful to you, and would love to hear in the comments what other questions you have about pitching, what's hard, what you're curious about, and I'll make more videos to support you on your journey.